Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. And this is my review on Basketball Wives Season 12, Episode 1. I'm warning you now, I have not watched every season, okay? I can't even remember the last season I watched. I want to say the last season I watched, it was actually Brandy and Malaysia getting into it. And I don't know how many years or seasons ago that was, but I'm back. I saw the trailer and I said, "Oh baby, this might be one interesting season." So yeah, I'm back. Hey Danielle, hey Shayla, let's get started and make sure you guys hit again the like button on the way in. It gets me in the algorithm. So we start off with Jennifer, and her scamsman husband. Yeah, they talk about how, lovey-dovey and how great everything is, and life is good, life is great. And then all of a sudden, the shade of it all, we see in the headlines that, Jennifer Williams' fiance was sentenced before Paris' wedding, okay? And then he has to explain what the hell happened. And so his explanation is that he needs a travel permit to actually be able to go out of the country. And he claims he called so many times, and at a certain point, he decided to say, F it, I'm going to go anyways. And like a dumbass, they decided to post pictures on IG. Yeah. 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 Why do people not understand that posting your shit on IG or any social media will get you caught every single time? So he explains that yes, he actually went and he posted the picture on IG, and someone saw it and actually reported it to his probation officer. It was probably Evelyn. Or the people that he allegedly scammed, okay? But I'm going to say the way Evelyn acted, it was probably Evelyn. All right, Danielle. Danielle been a Chris Club member for 3 months. Chris Club. I see you, girl. Thank you for always supporting me. So, yeah. So, with that being said, he said, look, okay, so it happened. I end up getting 15 days. So the way that it worked is he had to spend 2 days in prison, but they allowed him to go to Paris. And then when he came back, he had to finish the rest of his 13 days. That is some privilege out of this world. You don't find that many people able to do that. If you ask me, because word on the street is he is an alleged scammer. I wouldn't be shocked if he purposely got with Jennifer, hoping that if he does ever get caught up, that it will lighten his sentence because he's trying to be a celebrity on this show. One thing about it that I have learned is that these dang on reality shows, when you do crimes, I feel like they give you a lighter sentence. I don't know if it's because of the fact that they have the fame or like these networks kind of vouch for them. I don't know, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just saying, I would not be shocked if he purposely got with Jen to say, well, if I get caught up, I'm going to put it on your ass. And if I get caught up, I can get a lighter sentence. I don't know. Just my opinion on the situation, but let me move on. So then next, child, we have freaking King Jackie. And yes, I said King Jackie because Jackie got a bigger peen eggplant than most guys. That is a dude at the soul and the core of her, okay? She is a straight ninja, all right? But what are the odds that she lives in the same apartment complex as her daughter, Chantel? Interesting enough, I think this was a production move, but apparently she is out there to actually get her adorable baby boy, I believe his name is Noah, into modeling. She is also married to a basketball player. Chantel's facial expressions, the way she be looking at her mama child, and just the way she be looking in general is straight up classic. Straight up classic. Her facial expressions alone tell a story, and it's a character within itself. But with that being said, Chantel is saying that she needs to create boundaries, all right? Boundaries is the big thing for her. Look, I love my mama. I'm trying to work it out with my mama somewhat. I can't stand my mama, but she definitely need to have her boundaries. And Jackie's like, you not going to give me a key? You ain't gonna give me a key? Like, what's going on here? I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot. Jackie, stop being extra. But with that being said, we clearly know they about to really get into it this freaking season. But they have had their issues before, as we know, because she always felt like, her mother wasn't there. Now, interesting enough, how does she feel about her father? Because what we do know is that Jackie wasn't apparently there because she was chasing Doug around, making sure she went city to city. So why does she have so much animosity towards Jackie and not her father? Or does she? Y'all need to let me know, because I'm like, if anything, you need to be looking at both of them. But why is there so much aggression when it comes to your mama? But let me move on. So with that being said, we'll see how interesting it gets with them. Now, child, we have Brandy, and she pretty much talks to Jen about, checking in to pretty much see, how Jen is going with her husband, and the news about her husband all over the news and him going to jail. And Jen is like, girl, I'm good. But Brandy's like, I don't believe her. I don't believe her. And of course, they talk about Evelyn and their friendship. And, Brandy is trying to, I guess, understand, or trying to help her understand that Evelyn just cares. And Jen is like, well, this is odd coming from you, the way you and Evelyn have gotten into it in the past. And Brittany's like, yeah, I know. She was like, but y'all been down for like 20 years or whatever. And I'm like, no, they haven't. They was beefing for a good amount of years. Like, half of the time, Evelyn on this show was trying to fight Jen. And the only reason why I feel like she was trying to fight Jen, because she know Jen can't fight. Was Evelyn ever trying to fight Tammy? Exactly. I rest my case. So with that being said, Evelyn, child, when they show her name, the fact that they still have her down as ex-fiance of that NBA player that she stopped dating like over a decade ago, like at this point, she has been in several other leagues. She has been and ran through the NFL, the MLB. I'm surprised she ain't tried hockey yet and got her a white boy. I'm just saying. So the fact that they still use that, like at this point, Evelyn is an OG. We don't need to see that she's the ex-fiance of this fool. We don't. So with that being said, she ends up talking, of course, and bragging immediately. Not even like 2 minutes with her being on. She talks about how she has a grandson, and who can believe that she is the grandmother of the game's son, because her daughter had a baby with the game, the rapper. Yes. And that's not a flex, okay? He was actually just in the news today about him losing his mansion in Calabasas because of that $7 million essay lawsuit that came out. From my understanding, the game don't even have nothing in his name no more. Look, she didn't get a bag. She got a headache. She got a nutcase. And allegedly, she got a lavender. Allegedly. I'm just saying. So don't be shocked. Who's really paying for that baby? And she may be in the welfare line. I'm just saying, because the game ain't got it. He ain't got it. He sat up there and got that lawsuit. And not to mention, when was the last time he had a hit? I mean, I'm pretty sure he could still do shows, but he ain't no 50 Cent. I'll just tell you that. So I don't know why she said that, but she's always been a cloud chaser her whole life. But with that, she meets up with Jackie. Okay. And Jackie wants to do a Friendsgiving. But, says, well, I haven't talked to Jen. This is what Evelyn says about her scamming man. Jen closed the door on us, talking or whatever. And I'm like, because it's none of your business. It's none of your business. Because if the tables were turned and you had a scamming man allegedly, and Jen was trying to come to you about it, you would have an issue with Jen. It's none of your business, but you're trying to make it your business because you want a storyline. But with that being said, child, let's continue on. Evelyn's messy ass. She decides on the show, honey. Now, mind you, her and Jen are supposed to be friends 20 plus years deep, actually 25 years from what Jen said, okay? Evelyn decides to FaceTime this lady who happens to be her baby daddy Carl's cousin, who apparently got scammed by Christian, Jennifer's husband. Apparently $1,500 he took from her. Now, my thing is this: what are the odds that Carl's cousin got scammed? Okay, like seriously, what are the odds? I don't know, but at the same time, let's just be real. Evelyn, how many people have you scammed? I mean, I would say, in my opinion, you scammed a lot of athletes using your puss. So, scam to scam, what you so worried about it for? Okay. But with that being said, child, I don't understand why she's so pressed. But, look, she wants a storyline, but there are much more better storylines that she could actually have. And we're going to talk about that later. So moving on, honey. Brittany Renner. From hoeing to a hijab. Yes, honey. She is now Muslim. She is a reformed hell, right? She has given her life to her religion, allegedly. All right. So she said she was going through a lot of stuff and she became Muslim, kept praying, and she found solace. She found, I guess, that moment that she realized that this religion is for her. All right. But then she tells us that her own mama stole from her. Do y'all believe that? I don't know. Because, word on the street for a very long time is that Brittany Renner can be a kind of a liar. I don't know. Do y'all believe that her mama stole from her? Y'all let me know. Because y'all definitely, some of y'all know Brittany Renner's background way better than me. Y'all let me know. But I just found that very, very odd. But with that being said, she sits up there and she meets with Jackie. And she has an issue with Evelyn too. Yes, she does. Everybody has an issue with Evelyn, it seems. But, she said that Evelyn said that she was very unprofessional, all right? And how, she had an issue with that and how, she shouldn't have been talking about her behind her back and blah, 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 blah. The typical petty shit. But Jackie's like, look, I'm about to have a Friendsgiving, all right? And then we end up meeting Ming Lee. Now, I have heard Ming Lee's name on the street. I can't remember if it was for good reason or bad reason, but apparently she used to live in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, and she made her way to LA. And she apparently has been in a relationship with Ty. You guys know who Ty is. Ty is the retired WNBA player that used to date Mimi, okay, from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I am so confused right now on why the hell Ty is on this show. Like, is she like a VH1 stud pass around or something? Like, why are you here? Why is you here? What is the point? And honestly, it's giving storyline. It's giving that Ming Lee and Ty decided to sit up there and say, we're going to be on here, get a bag together, and create a storyline. Ty, if you want to be famous that badly, get into acting. Do something else. But going from reality show to reality show it's not cute. It's not cute, okay? But with that being said, we meet her, child. I don't know what she's really going to bring this season. If I'm not mistaken, this is her first season. So we'll have to see what she brings. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Please hit the like button on the way in. It gets me in the algorithm, all right? So with that being said, Brandy talks to Evelyn about Jen. Like this whole freaking episode is about Evelyn and Jen, and how Evelyn says that, Carl's cousin came to me and said that her husband scammed her, whatever. Okay, whatever. So at the Friendsgiving, child, let's get to the good part. At the freaking Friendsgiving, we see definitely that Brittany, while she claims that she has changed, she is a Muslim. The look on her face is saying at any moment, I am ready to knock the out of Evelyn, okay? But at the same time, she speaks to Evelyn about how she didn't like the fact that she sat up there and said that she was unprofessional and was saying all of this stuff about her. And like the typical rude Evelyn, she was like, are you finished? Are you done? Or whatever the case may be. And so Brittany was like, see, this is what I'm talking about, your tone or whatever the case may be. And so Evelyn was like, look, I don't have that much of an issue with you. Yes, I called you unprofessional, but you called us names too. And I'm just thinking like, Evelyn, you always are real quick to sit up there and say something about someone that you need to be calling yourself. I mean, you calling Brittany unprofessional, I would say that one of the most unprofessional things I've ever seen on a reality TV show is you pounding your puss on national TV. I ain't never seen anything like that until Evelyn did it. Have you ever seen anyone pound like that? I ain't never seen it. I would say that was very unprofessional, ratchet, hood radish, and all of that in between. But with that being said, she apologizes to Evelyn, and Brittany forgives her, and they hug it out. But we know that's not going to last. We know that, right? So the actual Friendsgiving, honey, it was definitely giving. But of course, the big freaking elephant in the room, of course, is definitely, yes, thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Tracy. Please hit the like button, you guys. Hit the like button. It gets me in the algorithm. And say hello. We don't bite over here. Welcome to the crew. So we have the Friendsgiving, honey. And of course, it's about Evelyn and it's about Jen. All right. And so at that point, they're forced to talk because you could tell Jen is not really interested in hearing this conversation at all whatsoever. She's like, get this scene over with. Thank you. And so Evelyn starts talking about, the rumors and the scamming, allegations. And Jen is like, a lot of those things are false. And Evelyn is like, Jen, stop it now. Stop it now. These receipts came to me. Now, mind you, she came with receipts and paper like Candy did with Portia when she printed out the iPhone messages. She came prepared. She came for this storyline. So at that point, she's like, this information came to me. Carl's cousin got scammed and she want her $1,500 back. And Jen is like, he doesn't even know her. And then at that point, she was like, whatever, look, there's so many victims. You don't care about any of these victims. You don't care about the woman who's on disability. Like, well, how do you not care about the victims? Evelyn, how many victims and bodies do you have, honey? How many victims and bodies do you have? And let me make this very clear. I am not trying to defend a scammer. Allegedly, Jennifer's husband is a scammer, okay? Allegedly. But at the end of the day, we already know that Jennifer is going to ride for her husband. And she's going to ride for her reputation. So what do you think you're getting out of this besides the fact that you're just trying to make sure that you stay on this show so you can sit up there and take care of your kids and your grandchild? But Jen sits up there and says, he's a day trader. And you know what I'm saying? Like people have to understand as a day trader, you can get money or you can lose money. And Evelyn is like, he could be a day trader as a felon. And Jen was like, yeah. And so Brandy tries to, interrupt and was like, Jennifer, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel about the information? Like, do you care? No, but like, Jen, do you care? And Jen is like, Brandy, I don't give a F how many ways you try to ask me the question. I'm not talking about it. Baby, when I tell you to look on all of their faces, from Chantel to Brandy to Brittany, baby, I was like, ooh, Oh my gosh. When I tell you the facial expressions was everything, they was like, what in the hell? What kind of Friendsgiving is this? So at that point, Jennifer is like, I don't want to talk about this. And Chantel is like, I'm so lost. I don't know what the heck is going on. What is this? And so Evelyn, while Jen is walking away going upstairs, Evelyn is like, he's kind of like running like a Ponzi scheme. Evelyn, Yo Punani is a Ponzi scheme, okay? Yo Punani is a Ponzi scheme. Again, focus on your shit and stop worrying about other people. But Jen, she done got real bold at this point, and she was like, stop talking about Christian. Get a storyline, ho. Get your own storyline. And of course, that pissed off Evelyn, and she making it seem like she really doing this for all the right reasons. And I agree. At the end of the day, Evelyn, you do need a storyline, and you have so many storylines that you can pull from. Like your daughter having a baby by your friend's ex-fiance and the father of her kids. See, yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but Evelyn is actually friends, apparently good friends, with the game's ex-fiance and the mother of two of his kids. And so how is it that your own daughter ends up getting pregnant by your friend's ex-fiance and baby daddy? That, honey, is a storyline. That is a storyline for the ages. Let's talk about that. But you don't want to talk about that, huh? No, you don't want to talk about that because that's a little too real for that ass. You don't want to talk about that one, right? Let's talk about all of the players you have allegedly Ponzi schemed and scammed with your cooch to make babies so you can have a steady paycheck, allegedly. Let's talk about that, all right? Let's talk about that. And so, oh yeah, child, I ain't even talk about that freaking light-skinned, pink-eyed turkey that Jackie had. First of all, who in the hell would trust turkey from someone who doesn't eat meat? How you gonna sit up there and tell everybody else to try it and you don't eat meat? I would never try meat from someone who doesn't eat it. Okay? That sucker looks so tragic. Then she had the audacity to use scissors to actually cut the turkey, not carve it, but she used scissors. All right? Ain't no way in hell I would have taken the sides. Wasn't trusting that. I don't even think she actually cooked it. That was a storyline, but I said, oh my gosh, that thing is tragic as hell. It didn't look cooked. It looked like as soon as she was gonna cut into it, blood was gonna splat everywhere. But with that being said, child, I have to agree with Jen. I'm not saying that she literally is not in delusion. I personally feel like that she is going to make sure she save face because it is her husband and also it would affect her reputation as well. So as far as I said, Evelyn needs to get her own business. Yes, she does. She needs to get her own freaking business and mind her business. Bottom line. But with that being said, honey, so at the end, Jen actually goes and picks up her husband, apparently from jail. But did y'all notice the luggage that he had in his hand? Help me understand how you carrying luggage from jail. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. She had luggage. But okay, I guess we supposed to roll with it. So he's like, daddy's home. They hugging and all of that stuff. And they getting they freaking Rolls Royce car. Is this something about Atlanta that everybody is just attracted to having a Rolls Royce or renting one? Because I'm a little confused. From the Housewives to this show, what is it? Because he lives in Atlanta or he's from Atlanta, Scam Central. So it didn't shock me at all when I saw that he lives in Atlanta. I said, oh, hell. But with that being said, she decides to talk to him about what Evelyn did and how Evelyn is just pretty much digging. All right. So she's talking about how she just needs to mind her business. And even Jackie said the same thing to Evelyn at the table, saying, you know, she's going to pick her man. Like, what is the point of doing all of this? But at that point, after she picked up her man from the booty pen, she sits up there and talks about it and says that she mentioned that you took $1,500 from this woman. And he decides to say, the lifestyle we live, $1,500, that's a meal. I would never ruin my reputation over $1,500. You would if it's $1,500 times 1,000 people that you allegedly scamming. Yeah, one person with $1,500 is probably nothing, but thousands of people with $1,500 is definitely something. So, okay, I guess we're supposed to believe you by you bragging about how you will spend $1,500 on a meal. Okay, all right. But with that, Jen is like, she is always in everyone else's business but her own. And in the confessional, Jen says, if I wanted to be that girl, I could bring out a bunch of receipts on Evelyn. And I'm like, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. Bring out the receipts. We want to see them. I know I do. I want to see the receipts. I want to see them. I want it to be a flatline receipt where you shut her up and she don't ever say nothing again. I would like to see them. I would. I really would. Okay. So, yeah. But with that being said, she sits up there and she continues to complain about the situation. And the last thing he says is, stop playing about my wife. Stop playing with my wife. Period. And I'm like, ooh, are we supposed to be scared? Like, ooh, okay. But with that being said, that's when the episode goes off. I think this is going to be an interesting season based off of what we saw on the trailer. Now, you know, trailers can be deceiving, making it seem like it's much better than what it actually is. But I would say this was a pretty solid first episode. I would give it a solid B. Even as desperate and thirsty as it is, as far as Evelyn needing a storyline and Ty, for whatever reason, being on this show. But yeah, I think we're in it. I'm definitely interested. I will say this. Jackie, and you know I want to see that fight with her daughter. I definitely want to see that fight with her daughter, because Chantel, honey, she definitely seemed like she don't respect her mama, and I guess that's because she feels like her mother did not raise her. But again, I'm curious to know what her relationship is with her own father. I'm confused on why you're so mad at the mama but not the pappy. I'm a little confused. But baby, it looked like when Jackie take that backhand and she about to swing on Chantel, look like Chantel about to get knocked out. She about to get knocked out. So I'm definitely interested to see what this season is going to bring. But yeah, I definitely need Evelyn to have a better storyline than trying to be all up in Jennifer's business. But Jennifer claims she's happy. So hell, if she happy, she happy. I just hope that she does protect herself. If he is an alleged scammer like the word on the street is, she is now legally married to him. Apparently. So she's legally married to him. That means his BS and his drama and his felonies and his restitution and all of the stuff that he may have to pay, she would have to pay. That's the reason why Yandy never married Mendices, okay? Because when it becomes legally married, it's no longer I, it's us, it's we, it's our money, it's our debt. So, yeah, I would be very, 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 very nervous when it comes to that. But she act like she happy and she don't care, honey. So we're going to have to see about that. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for listening to my review on Basketball Wives. I'm intrigued, but I'm going to need the crew to help me out. For those who've been faithful Basketball Wives watchers every season, there may be some things I miss, and I'm going to need y'all help on that to let me know and kind of fill me in. But I'm in it. I'm in it for sure. Hey, Dr. Londi. I'm sorry, I've been talking away. Hey, you guys. Hello. Thank you, as always, for the support. Hit the like button, please. It gets me in the algorithm. And with that being said, please, before I go, word on the Atlanta curb, there's no marriage certificate. I wouldn't be shocked. It would be in her best interest not to have one and pull a Yandy. I wouldn't be shocked, because if he definitely is doing what they claim he's doing, if he goes down, she goes down. Bottom line. So maybe that is the case. I don't know. At the end of the day, I wouldn't trust his ass, but at the same time, I really don't trust Jen or Evelyn either. So with that being said, you guys, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video.